The wind is like blood. The sun's dim sunset settled on the horizon. The distance sighed. On the frigid and eerie calm of the sea, there is only silence between heaven and earth. On the vast ocean of ice and snow, a giant icebreaker is slowly approaching. It's been drifting at sea for a few days. If it's not this big icebreaker, it cannot exist in the world. This harsh frost, we can still cross the sea. But on this giant state-breaking ship, there was no sign of the sailor. Because the hull is so big that can withstand the corrosion of ocean ice, but can't stop the sharp north winds. More than a blade, the mighty ship continues its journey. Driver frame. Artificial intelligence has replaced most of the work. In the field of machinery, a man in a gray hat. Wear a lazy copper outfit against LAN can. He's tall and thin, about 40 years old. It can be in such cold conditions. Without wearing anti-cold clothing, can see he must be a mutant or possess the ability. Special cold resistance force. He turned towards the small room on the boat. A woman dressed like a dancer, sitting at a table. In front of her, an old roll of paper is opened. In her hand is a small pen. Dot into the next cartridge. But the ink is not black, it's red. Bright red as blood. The man in the gray hat sat in front of her. He laughed and asked me how my luck was today. The woman answered the sand. He nodded with satisfaction, sighing with relief. So it's good to continue like this. Not long after, we'll be able to register this coastal city. He looked at the sofa not far away. There was a man who was 6 feet tall. It's as big as a bear sitting there. That man was wearing a black Western suit. I'm flipping through a maritime magazine. Are we too far from the road when we arrived? The big man calmly said there were 3 days left. The guy in the gray hat, his eyes lit up. In 3 days. In 3 days, we will set foot on this land. It's called the God. And then we'll write a legend. It belongs to us. The investigation team completed its mission. Tian Hai City. Bok Lai Long Bar with the team returned to Kim Mausoleum. Back to the super military fortress. Built at a huge cost. In the east of Kim Mausoleum, the Snow City. The snow is heavy. This super gray building is like a wild animal. Lying on the ground. Wall more than 50 meters high. Every 3 meters, there's a big gun ready. And soldiers in black combat suits are on guard. There's a watchtower every 10 meters. Inside the high-speed machine gun, it can fire 6,000 bullets per minute. Enough to tear apart every creature. This city covers thousands of kilometers. It started to be built 15 years ago. According to the military plan, Snowstorm City, along with 5 other buildings that form the citadel. It's called the 6 Rooms, the last line of the United States. China holds the most powerful military force, and armed by the United States. No matter what the situation is, as long as they are there, the nation will not fall. The car of the school bar, under the Great Wall. Through inspection and drive into the gate thick and heavy metal. Inside the Snow City, the air is so quiet, it makes people feel trapped. There's no hunger or confusion here due to lack of food. But it's a full-scale military administration. So on the big streets and the small alleys, I hardly see normal people working. Only soldiers and staff work, especially for snowstorms. When the chief of staff and his team returned, Immediately have the staff come to check on them. Everyone, follow us to the disinfection site for inspection. Members of the outside combat team. After returning, we need to ensure normal health and does not carry unknown bacteria from the outside in. Undergo complex testing. A young officer appeared in front of an adult. He was wearing a military uniform. The hair is combed back neatly, wearing a pair of gold-rimmed glasses of great value. When you see the Chief Justice, he said, please follow me. This soldier, you're not a normal person. He is the new town Senior Secretary of the Marshal area to Nam Chu, Maine. He was originally an office worker. The family is not ordinary, and Ju himself trusted a lot. Paraffin school bar nodding slightly and following this young soldier. As is customary after they complete the assigned task, they need to report directly to Ju. The problem in Tianhai City is quite serious. The death of a senior captain is enough to shake the highest class of blizzards. Assistant Manager Thantheo Lan Tan Than to the center, Commander of God's office. Lan Tan Than reports from outside the office, through the communication device. The Chief Inspector General has arrived. After receiving a positive feedback from Zhou, Lan New City gives way, and the silver metal door slowly opened. Lieutenant Colonel Li invited. I feel a little tense in my heart. Step by step inside. This time, he came to lie to Zhu. So he's in the right mood, lame pants, worrying about everything. Although before coming, he talked to the team. And everyone agrees with his approach. But the majesty of Zhou himself, in the hearts of everyone in the blizzard, too deep. They also feel scared in front of him. I took a deep breath and walked in. Chu is a middle-aged man of about 50 years old, haircut military style and lean body. On his face, exudes an air of majesty and determination, eyes as small as a falcon. When the chief counsel came in, he glanced over at Chu himself with sober eyes. The police chief knows he's really strong. Wu's soldiers once told the Bok Lich Ching that you can kill him like a chicken. The school's valedictorian went to greet him solemnly. Marshal. Zhu asked quickly to the problem. This time your mission has been done very well. Originally, I think you'll have to retreat temporarily. But then, we'll attack the city of Tianhai from the general. This time everything is fine. They've protected the city of Tianhai. Zhu himself said that he didn't care about the Tianhai city. He knows that most of the people in Tianhai city are dead. There's only a few people left. The Attorney General said, this time I was lucky to have the captain's support. Without his sacrifice, we may have to surrender. Then the deputy chief reported to Zhou. The report mainly focused on the investigation of the squad, especially the labors of the armed forces. When it comes to armed forces, Zhu could not suppress the pain in his heart. Armed soldiers, he was an excellent soldier in the army. After the sacrifice, he, leaving a big gap in the south, knowing that one day it will come. But Zhou himself couldn't stop his regret. He looked at the police chief and called him back. Sit down and talk. The two sat down and Zhu continued to ask, when going to Tianhai City, have you seen any seeds? Can you take it back for refreshment? Assistant Attorney General sent information about the seeds that are endowed in Tianhai City for Chu, Maine. Before that, Zhu does not need to know more details about the mission. I want to know about the seeds. South China needs new seeds. Even though there are many seeds, but often people are sacrificed, leading to a shortage. Assistant Manager, Stress Bar Response. Tian High City has some living counties. Maybe join the team. Investigation. Angel based on you. Red Pepper training from the Yang Flourishing Base. GIA Sans Thandin. Tran Tin Quan from the Million Weapons Base. Together with Zhang Yi. Salary approval and privacy. These people are all seeds. Has considerable power. The biliary is especially capable of strong support. Very suitable to join the investigation team. Zhu finished listening and nodded slowly. That information was in your report. I am very interested in the translation. I want to talk to him. Maybe you can help me. The long-suffering Li in his worried mind. Of course, it's still coming. There are some things he can hide. But the data really can't be fooled. Mention Trong at the war with zombies and raw non-musketeers. He has always shown remarkable ability. If there is no plague, mission in the city of Tian Hai will surely 7 defeat. The whole group couldn't even protect their lives. Those glorious feats. Although the epidemic and the schools try to hide, but you can't completely deceive people. The school bag just hides. The translation alone, defeated in the final battle. What about his previous accomplishments? It can't be hidden. This point is enough that Chu was really interested in the translation. Li Changbar looked straight at Chu Zheng, answer with probing eyes and think. What does this have to say? Although Sao Trong epidemic in the war with zombies, power is very clear. Ra can only hide the final battle. Thought then he said. Zhang Yi is really a talented person. He's very capable. More, it also has extremely rare space system capabilities. If he can get to the regional headquarters to the south, with my own ability, he can become an elite member in the investigation team, but praise for the previous campaign. Then he said, what's his minus? However, the mind and personality of this person, it makes people not too comfortable. What do you mean by your own eyebrows? His personality is bad. Top recruitment standards of the investigation team, Area 2 South. It's not ability. It's an absolute loyalty to the region. This is not a backward view. It's in times of chaos. If you don't have the right mindset, it's very likely to cause big problems. The school district understands this. He went on to say that Zhang Yi is a very selfish person, like the other mutants from the city. Maybe it's been through too much bloody brutality. He doesn't have any collective consciousness. Even in our fight with zombies, he still puts his own interests first. Always ready to leave your partner to escape. More to achieve your goal. He's not from any tricks. It makes people feel that he doesn't have any faith. Speaking of which, Assistant Attorney General, I suddenly felt like I was being a little too vocal. Even though he is deliberately smearing the epidemic, so that Zhu doesn't have to deal with him. It's like talking behind someone's back. It also affects his impression of himself. Leadership. The police chief quickly removed it. But to be honest, his personality can also be understood. In the context of the apocalypse, it's hard to find people who have faith. Steady and steady. After listening, Zhu really has an attitude towards the translation, fading away a lot. An unstable mutant. Even though he has DTO abilities, he doesn't want to use them. On the other hand, in the eyes of Zhu, it's just a normal Delta mutant. Level mutants like this, although not much, but not too little, at the headquarters of Jiangnam. But if he knows, the fluid has partially absorbed, Dry completely original of mutant-grade cylinder press. The situation may be different. Related to the problem of non-compliance, the chief counsel once explained to God himself. In the report, tell him that he's not dead. And the original also dissolves in heaven and earth. The main Joe also has no doubt. First, he trusts the investigation team. And there's no need to hide anything. If they can find the original and become stronger, they will receive attention and appreciation. Second, in the course of the task, when there's a lot of fighting, and lead to the death of the mutant, the original dispersion is inevitable. The original of the non-pseudo-original dissolves. It makes sense. Although I have some regrets, but there's no way to blame it. After a while, Zhu looked at the school with thoughtful eyes. Each investigation team needs a strong mutant to lead the team. With the Wu army dead in battle, the snowstorm is temporary. There are no mutants, almost equal to the power of the armed forces. The Supreme Court is the highest candidate to become a captain. The White House has no ordinary power, although not as much as the captains of other investigative teams, but a little stronger than the normal team. The important thing is he has experience performing tasks, get respect in the team. Chu said seriously. Assistant Attorney General, for the loss of the army, I'm sorry. But the position of captain of the investigation team can't be empty. From now on, you will be the captain of the Black Panther. The police chief trembled in happiness. I think the last stomach finally arrived. He quickly stood up to thank Zhu. I will not be president of the Seven Kingdoms. I'll give it my all. And devoted to Blizzard City and its commanders. Chu himself nodded. Yes, the official appointment will come to you in the next 2 days. As for the armed forces mission this time, it will be based on your report, in recognition of his work, and your team will be recognized accordingly. His family, they will also enjoy the benefits of the families of the dead, and can use the A-level living materials of the general. The school district, thank you. Thank you, Commander. After leaving the main office, the assistant secretary stepped out and find the son so beautiful. His heart is very good. Lie to the chief to conceal Zhang's intelligence. But that result brings joy to everyone. No need to go to the snow. The captain became the captain of the squad, and the dance boarder recognized his Lao. From now on, his wife and children will not have to worry. One of his lies helped everyone. When the Chief Justice is happy, a cold voice came from behind. Deputy Captain, no. Now, I should have called you Captain Polly. Turn the bar around. I saw a woman in blue and white, walking towards him. She had tall eyes with a cold indifference. Long hair arbitrarily bunched up. The school district attorney smiled when he saw her. So Ra is the professor. The man who came was a professor of the Snow City Research Lab, Li Lin Snow. In the snow, there's not a lot of AI that doesn't respect the lab. Because the age of variation happens, the power they can use, even stronger than the military. The snow came closer to say, where is the thing you say is? Ah, here before. I mean, after reporting to the commander. I will bring it to you myself. The bar manager takes a metal box from the pocket of combat clothes Ra. Give to the snow spirit. The snowman looked at the box. This is the mutant plant you're talking about. The school's assistant nodded. It has a very strong growth potential. It's also possible to create type VI zombies. It can infect the host. Li Lin Snow raised her eyebrows. That doesn't sound too bad. The school thought quietly. This toy can be a little bit. To destroy the entire city of Tian Hai. As in the mouth of the snow. This doesn't work very well. After a moment of reflection, he said to himself, maybe because of the professor. I've studied a lot of strange things. Lai Lin Tich put the box containing the blood roots behind it. Don't even say hello and come back. The police chief is used to your behavior. This person is not the kind of person who despises others. It's you. I'm just not interested in things outside the scope of scientific research. He also turned towards his house. After the school district attorney left the office, Chu is sitting on the chair. Strangely serious facial expressions. The danger level of the Tianhai city this time. It was much bigger than he had imagined. This is the first time a captain has been killed since the end of the world. The time since the end of the world has come. It's only half a year. Even in a blizzard, there's a lot of talent. I can't stand such a 7. A thought soon arose in his heart. Now reappear again. Chu looked through the window. He muttered, relying only on the power of the blizzard. It's very difficult to maintain the stability of the entire Jiangnan region for a long time. Watch out. You have to rely on the power of others. He's using a communications device. Call the secretary Lan Tan Than. Lan Tan Than then respectfully said, Free Marshal, you have something to tell me. Chu told the new city. Immediately make an announcement in my name. The goal is all the forces in a certain size across the region next year. Let's tell them that. 10 days later, we're having a mutant convention. The whole area to the south, in the snowstorm. Invite them to come. When I heard this, I was a little surprised. You're finally going to get 10. The power of the whole region to South Sao. A glimpse of light in Chu's eyes. This plan has been in our plans for a long time. It's just the death of the border. It makes us realize that we have to accelerate. Can't keep procrastinating. If not with the current power, he was worried he wouldn't be able to keep up the snow in the near future. That's why he hasn't done this before. It's because the time is not yet ripe. Now, each city has formed countless forces, large and small. There's constant fighting and killing between the sides. Although the South can, using sheer force to deter these forces. But they don't have much capacity to manage. Even if you have to consider the problems, such as gridlocked information and inconvenient traffic. Remote management often leads to many evils. Now that the army is gone, he realized that the situation was urgent, must proceed soon. Plans to harvest 10 of the power of the entire region next year. If it's not just the power of the blizzard. To stabilize the situation, it's going to affect their core force too much. Lan Tan Than clearly replied, I will immediately draw up the order, so that all the leaders of the powers have the scale. In Jiangnan area, they all have to come here. Chu in his eyes clearly a stream of intent that instructs. If any power dares not obey orders, we can send the investigation team directly to destroy them. If necessary, kill a few leaders first. This conference is a mandatory meeting. Do not allow any AI to be absent. If it's to restore the region to the south, they no longer need to exist. Chu's voice was clearly determined. He's willing to sacrifice some of the shellfish leaders to find out the real talent. Tianhai City. After the Great War with the preacher, the whole city fell silent. The major powers have been seriously damaged. no longer able to expand his territory. In other words, the expansion of the territory no longer makes sense. In the sermon, there were a few lucky survivors. There is a husband and wife sword. They're bringing together people who didn't die in the disaster, building a new homeland of peace. There's one thing that after a disaster becomes a good thing. It's that the number of survivors has plummeted. Resources that don't become scarce. The current 3 bases are ocean and millions of weapons. They've all suffered 7 heavy losses in combat forces. The 3 bases have all contacted Zhang Yi, show loyalty to him, and ask him to protect them. Zhang Yi have no interest in being the boss of the Tianhai city. He also just hopes no more coming to disturb my pure life. To face the plea of the Ba organization, just gently tell them that. Live your life for good. Don't bother me anymore. Ba organizations still often come to give gifts. Give Trong the supplies in his hands to show loyalty, and I hope he can take better care of his base. He's been looking at a problem lately. That's how. Take advantage of the amber to wake up the Yang Bile's ability. I didn't just die. Mutants who use amber to wake up their powers. I don't know how there will be changes. There are still 2 ice cubes in Zhang Yi's hands. These 2 amber balls can create 2 mutants. If Yang Bai does not pretend to die, there are negative reactions. Then he will consider to Zhu Fap Ni and others. Use these 2 amber ice cubes. 10 days passed like a blink of an eye. The body of the bile, there's no abnormal variation. At Zhang's request, Zhu Kai Ni has a health check every day for her. Yourself, the doctor will also check the outside and inside her body. But the body of Yang Bile, without any adverse reactions. Come to think of it, Zhang immediately decided, take the other 2 ice cubes. Let the people next to you use it. Campaign to call Duong Han Han, Zhu Kai Ni and 6 Revelation came to his room. Very quickly, they were there. Come on in. Zhang did his own analysis. It's like a catalyst. It can trigger the body's mutant potential. Human, but will not cause side effects. The only defect is, it also disappears, along with the death of the original, not fake. So now, it's just a treasure. All 3 girls listened carefully. He said again, now we can confirm that the bubble can still work. After not faking death, I have 2 ice creams I can give you. But you have 3. There are only 2 ice cubes. You are all very important people to me. I don't want to favor this person either. That treat the kier. So how's the distribution? Let you decide for yourselves. Yang Han Han is a super hacker Kim. 6 probably a mechanical engineer. The child is a doctor. All 3 of the above are very valuable to him. They don't want to make anyone feel good. The eyes of the 6, and Zhu Kai Ni was clearly excited. Of course, they're hungry for aptitude, to become more useful people. Even after being seen, the extraordinary abilities of mutants, to say that not being jealous is a lie. Yang Han Han again showed indifference. You said you don't need me. Give this opportunity to the 2 of you. The 2 of them were a little surprised. They all find it hard to understand. This is clear. It's what people in the post-apocalyptic world do. They all wish to have. But Duong Han Han said to give up is to give up Sao. I see people looking at me, he explained. Our mind is the greatest ability. Compared to me, you need the power of that power more. So keep it for you. He thought for a moment and then nodded. He saw that what Yang Xin said was not wrong. Yang Han's mind is the best ability. You've also been paralyzed for years. I'm used to using my mind to act. As a logistics player, it doesn't always work when you use the power. Contrary to 6 revelation and the second revelation, both of these people, it's all about the desire to have superpowers. So, he was generous enough to give them the opportunity. 6 suddenly looked at Yang Xin. Han, I can't help but ask. Have you thought carefully? Yang Xin replied, I have thought about it carefully. You don't have to worry about me. Get the power you want. Listen to this. 6 of course, and the child is no longer insistent. Keep the intention of letting go. They turned their eyes to the wooden box that Zhang Yi is holding in his hand. Zhang Yi opened the wooden box. Take 2 silver-white amber tapes in front of you. You already know how to use it. Just put it on the road. He said as he stared at the 2. 6 revelation and Zhu Kai Ni excited. Take the amber. It's soft and smooth and cool to the touch. It feels like it's a creature. 2 people press the ice to press the road, and soon it's automatically absorbed into their brains. He said to take precautions. There may be an unintended mutation. You lie down. The 2 girls quickly lay down on the bed. Dang and Yang, he was beside me anxiously waiting. The process of absorbing the amber of 2 people, it's very fast. Their bodies are pretty good. It's not like the honey. Suffer from reactions of side effects. But even so, they still have to lie in Zhang Yi's bed, so that the body can adapt to something extraordinary, just infiltrated. Zhang Yi sat on the chair patiently waiting. 10 minutes passed. 6 revelation was the first to restore normality. You're sweating your head. Tiny drops of sweat trickling down her neck. Arms and chest. Looks like we just ran a 10-kilometer marathon. Your body hasn't changed. Like Zhang Yi, I feel like your eyes are getting brighter. It's like a shiny black diamond. Curious to ask how you succeeded. 6 likely to gasp. She assured Zhang with excited eyes. CA, we have the ability. When a person has a disability, it seems like the body has one more arm. That's one finger. It came out suddenly. And people with special abilities, they also know very well about their abilities. It's like understanding your own body. Under the waiting eyes of Zhang Yi and Yang Xin, Han, 6 revelation explains her powers. She took a spoon from the table. Then bend the spoon quickly. In front of 2 people, without using any physical force. She said, our abilities are related to metals and machines. It seems like we can control the metal that we touch. The eyes of 6 revelation lit up with excitement. This is great. With this ability, we can build even more powerful weapons in the future. Translation. Let me ask you. It means your skills are related to machines. You can improve the performance of your weapon. 06 the answer. Of course. She looked at the spoon in her hand, smiling. With this ability, we can control it perfectly. The smallest details of the weapon. Adjust the weapon to optimal performance. Not just weapons. Everything is made by machines when it comes to our hands. Will be reformed into the most perfect shape. Laughter is good. Your ability, not separate from his machinist nature. When free, then help me upgrade the Kier guns. Yes, make sure to complete the task. 6 suddenly smiling with a wink. My face is full of excitement. That's right. Let's call it our ability. Laughing. This is your power. Don't you want to name it yourself? How do you expect 6 revelation? Looked Trong Yi with very serious eyes. The old man saved my life. My ability was also given by the old man. So, I also want him to name my ability. Move in the heart of understanding. 6 revelation is expressing gratitude and loyalty to Zhang Yi. He thought for a moment. Because your ability is to control machines, it's called divine manipulation. 6. I really like this name. Manipulation of the gods. God damn it, that's a good name. I'm also the one with the ability later. And Yang Xin Hin, the second 6 likely smiling. At this point, the baby is back to normal. Her skin glowed 7 smooth. I don't know if it's an illusion. I can see your skin is whiter than before. The body was charming. Now, the rate is even better. He was stared at like that. My face is a little red. Chu Kai Ni was afraid to say. I'm staring at you like that. Is something beautiful? She couldn't help but nod beautifully. You're all so beautiful. It's a big deal and 6 possibilities, not from jealousy. Children also find it inconvenient, serving dog food in front of to other people. She sat up in a rhythmic way, probably succeeded yet. What is your ability? 6 likely to recount your abilities. When he heard that, he laughed and manipulated the gods. That's a very useful ability for you. 6 curious questions. So what's the point of a billion? The child calmly explained. My skills are related to medicine. You don't hide it. I want to show you my ability, let people know. My first ability can accelerate cell activity. It causes cells to quickly recover and regenerate. This power can not only be used for yourself, it can also be used for others. After hearing those words, everyone finally understood the reason. In the body of Chu Kai Ni, it can be more perfect again. Yang Xin Han and 6 are probably a little jealous. Because of this power, that's what every woman does. Everyone wants to get it. Of course uttered. I can't blame you for being so beautiful. As long as the kids want it, she can arbitrarily modify her body proportions. It's become a demonic body. There's another dimension. These are my hands, she said and raised her elongated hands. White nails of Isra. These are the hands of a surgeon. Clean and white. With these hands of mine, it can heal other people's illnesses. It can even replace scalpels to perform surgery for the human body. Slowly, he said, he walked in front of Yang Xin. Yang Han was surprised to see her. What do you want to do? Chu Kai Ni grinned. Bend over. I want to try. Can you heal your feet or not? I didn't wait for Yang Xin to argue, and suddenly, he put his hands out. Right in front of everyone's eyes, the hands suddenly became transparent. He told her not to be afraid, to calm down. I feel that something is about to be taken out. Zhu Kai Ni's hands slowly moved forward. It depends on her life. The ocean can feel it. There's something stirring inside my body. But that feeling didn't hurt her. The opposite. It's like something's being removed from the body. After a while, the hands of Zhu Hai were removed. Yang Han's life. Ask in amazement. This child is A red-gray slime is also pulled out. This is what I took out of your spine. I just cleaned the dirt on my hands. I just told Yang Shin Shin Shin. Try to see if you can stand up. Yang's pupils suddenly fluttered. The eyes light up on me. Paralyzed for years. What do you want most? It's about having healthy feet, so you can walk like a normal person. I can't help but look at Zhu Kai Ni. Then look at Yang Shin. He thought silently. This is the miracle. Medicine is in the legend. If Zhu Kai Ni could cure paralysis, I'm afraid there aren't any injuries. It can't be cured. This ability is really too bovine. Sick suddenly, he hurried to the side of Yang Zanhan. Look at her with encouraging eyes. Let's try it. She reached out her hand to support Yang Shin Han's hand. Yang Shin nervously looked at his feet. And then he started using his power awkwardly. My feet have not felt for years. Suddenly, there's a flow of power. Those legs support her body. Slowly get up from the wheelchair. The girl screamed with great joy. I stand up, and I stand up. We can feel them already. You scream like a psychopath. She's moving forward step by step. My legs are still shaking, but very quickly adapted to travel. Yang Shin Han tears his back smiled tears. She's hurrying this way over there. Let go of the supporting hand of revelation. The little girl smiled and congratulated you. She reached out her hand to help her, but I didn't expect Yang Shin Han to surpass her. On the contrary, plunge your head into the heart of Trong Yi. CA, can we get up and walk? I'm a normal girl now. I looked at Zhu Kai Ni, who was confused. It's a little funny. Well, that's good. That's good. From now on, you are able to walk on your own 2 feet. Then, you're as excited as a butterfly flying, going everywhere in the shelter, to announce the good news that my leg has recovered.